Peace. Peace. What up, world? It's Super Lonely on the Couch. Welcome. Substantial Sundays, live from Mr. Robinson's neighborhood studio. Hey, man. Good to be rocking with y'all. Thanks for tuning in. All right, let's get some background music playing, shall we? You know what I mean? Hold up. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Try to figure out what's this volume situation doing right now. Yeah, man. I'm not sure where y'all tuning in from, so make sure you say peace and let me know where you watching from. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do that. You can subscribe by hitting the little subscribe button and turning on those notifications. That's extremely important because otherwise, when we do this, you won't know we're live and you're gonna miss out. And that shit is super whack. So make sure you do that, and we're gonna get started, man. Having technical difficulties. See, this is the advantage of having my homie Sherm here, man. Because when he's here, I can focus on the little technical aspects while he hold it down. You know what I mean? But we solo today, so it is what it is. Shout out to Sherm the Barber. He wanted to be here, couldn't make it today. All that good stuff. But I hope y'all are well. Give me a second. I'm gonna load something up, and then I'm gonna go ahead and get to some of the comments and see who's tuning in right now. You know what I mean? And let's see. Hold up. Doing a million things. You know what I mean? Boom, boom, boom. Who we got up in here? Already we got My Name is My Name. Peace. What's going on? I see you. You know what I mean? I appreciate the love. It's FSG. That's what's up. Peace. See you. Good to see you up in here. Johnny. Peace. What's going on? Carlos. Hey, that's what's up. That's one of my kings from OHMS middle school I serve at. That's what's up. Oklahoma up in here. Johnny, what up? All the way from South Argentina. That's right. No benefits on my parade, Johnny. Scratch X4. I feel like this is my first time seeing you up in peace. What's going on? Steph. It's Steph. Y'all clap it up for Stephanie Gale. All right. That's the person better known as Steph the Sapphic Songstress. Good to see you up in here, sis. I'm looking forward to seeing you work your magic on that track I sent you, man. A lot of stuff to talk about. Folks. So look, first things first, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do that. Turn on those notifications. Second, for those of you who've already said peace, please do one of the most important things, which is to share the link. Share the link. For those of you just tuning in, make sure you say peace. All right. Georgia up in here. That's what's up. Hey, my name is my name. I got some good news for you since you're in Georgia. I'm actually the contract is about to be signed, but it looks like I'll be heading to perform in Atlanta in May of next year. It should be like Memorial Day weekend. So I know that's a ways away, but it's a big deal because me, the homie DJ A-Rock and Asheru, we're going to be performing at MomoCon. All right. And there's a pretty big, it's going to be a pretty big deal because it looks like Shingo 2 is going to be performing as well. So that's coming to ATL, MomoCon 2019. Yeah. Hey, look, come through. We'll celebrate. That's what's up. You come to the show and you remind me, and you can get at least one free thing from the merch table since it's your birthday. I'll keep you posted on details. So that's a huge announcement. Contract already came through. We're just tweaking some stuff, but it's definitely going down. So that's exciting, man. Looking forward to seeing y'all there. You know, so let me. How we gonna start the show without our theme music? I've been running my mouth for a minute. You know what I mean? And we ain't get our theme music going on. There we go. All right, there we go. So now I feel like we starting over. You know, these are like random prison poses and stuff. So look, feels good, man. So I am super happy to announce that on top of us having theme music, now, like besides being available on Bandcamp, this is officially streaming everywhere. So you can go ahead to the description. There should be a link for you there. So check out that link. That link will basically show you what all of your options are, or most of your options are to streaming. All right. So you do that, and we're good. And we're gonna vibe out for a few seconds. Let a few more people check in. Again, if you're just getting here, Lum Shadin, I'm not sure if I said your name right. Peace to you. Peace, Juan. What's going on? Make sure you say peace for those who just tuning in. Let us know where you're watching from, all that good stuff. All right. Let's see. My name says, gotta love the love. Please keep me updated. ATL is only about 4 hours away from me, and it's crazy that I have plans on going to my first concert for my birthday. Look at that. Look at God. That's what's up. All right. Epiphania. Peace. What's going on? Badass Don from England. That's what's up. Peace, peace, peace. Uncrowned Otaku. PG up here. That's what's up. Good to see you up in this joint. Long overdue and worth the wait. Hold on. Let me see. Let me go back. I can't see. I can't wait to see what y'all are talking about. Maybe when the LP is done, which will be soon. Okay, word. Yeah, Steph got some hot shit on the way. All right. So theme music is done. The show has officially begun. There are so many things to talk about. So again, for those of you wondering where my partner in crime, Sherm the Barber is, he hit me up earlier today, said he wasn't going to be able to make it. He definitely wanted to be here, but it is all good. It's all good. So look, a lot of stuff to talk about, and it sucks that he's not here, yo, because like there was so much music that dropped this week, and there's more stuff coming up. So we'll have a lot to talk about next week as well. But a couple things I wanted to talk about, man. A couple of tracks, dude. Like, oh my God, so much hot shit out here. So first of all, I'm trying to figure out why my background music is being super lame right now. I got like the playlist lined up in the back. It ain't doing nothing. And it's crazy. So let me figure something out real fast. But anyway, while I am figuring that out, I'm gonna give you heads up on a couple projects that just a couple things that just dropped. That if you haven't heard it yet, you should definitely check it out. I'm not sure if you guys heard Anderson .Paak's latest single. That joint is pretty dope. It sounds like he's kind of going. I doubt the whole record's going to be like mostly rap. You know what I mean? I think he usually does a good job at balancing it out. But just based off of 2 of the 3 singles that we've heard from the record, 2 of the 3 singles are mostly him rapping. And in his appearances on certain shows, obviously, or whatever, certain hip hop shows, of course, he's gonna spit as opposed to sing. But yeah, man, I'm excited for the record. I think it's gonna really be epic. You know what I mean? Like what I heard in the new single, or whatever, you can hear Dre's influence, you know, in the quality of the record, and then he got vocals in the background as well. So that's coming up this Friday, yo. Like the wait's almost over. Oxnard is almost here. So super excited to see new music from Anderson .Paak. That's one. Number 2, what else I heard? Oh, the new Jamla joint. The new Jamla record is bonkers. Like there's a lot of heat on that. Probably my favorite tracks off that joint. I'm a super Black Thought fan, so anything where Black Thought is rapping his ass off, please sign me up. Please sign me up at all times. I'm always happy to partake in that awesomeness. So yeah, man, like joint is crazy. I love the joint. Probably the joint with Rhapsody and J. Cole is my favorite track on there though. Although I do love the Black Thought joint too. That record's pretty dope. There's a lot of dope stuff on there. A whole lot of rapping. A whole lot of dope ass bars. Pharoah Monch is destroying shit on the record as well. There's a lot of artists who I'm not as familiar with, who do their thing on the record too, and they are also pretty dope. Comments coming through. Yeah, looking forward to Oxnard. It's gonna be dope stuff. I can't wait. Rhapsody and J. Cole joint is hella dope. Yeah, it is. My name. Repeat. Oh, you want me to spit? All right, hey, so look, I might. We'll see. But I got these beats. I got some new beats I'm gonna play for y'all because I've been working on a lot of production this weekend. And I also laid down some stuff, finished this new song with Kenichiro Nishihara. and other stuff. Like, it's been a busy week, and I've been sick. Been super sick. I've been fighting bronchitis, so like I'm starting to get over it. But it's amazing I was able to be as productive. I see y'all really pushing for me to spit some bars. You know what I mean? The wild thing is I haven't written a whole lot of new stuff, nothing that I committed to memory, man. But I'll spit something for y'all today. We can make that happen. Yo, Stan, gotta thank you. I was doing my homework all morning, blueprints and drawings and such, and your music was hitting just right. Hey, Johnny, I appreciate that. All right, so Turbo owner, be patient. You know what I mean? I gotta go through my routine. We got a certain way of doing things on the show. And I gotta make sure I hit everything within an hour. But I got you. You stick around, you'll get some bars. All right, I'm definitely gonna get some beats. You'll get some bars. You might get some other stuff that hasn't been released yet as well. So be patient. All right, substantial on new beats. Yeah, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, Badass Don. I'm glad you digging a new production. You and I both terrible stomach issues since the Jamaica trip. Oh, wow. Welcome home. All right. I'm sorry, Steph. You ain't been feeling great. I hope you get well soon. All right. Go ahead and drop them bars on our forehead. Yeah, I got y'all. Real quick, let me finish going through the music joint real quick, and then I got you on the bars. All right. Let's see. Hold up. Wait 1 second. Try to get back to my agenda. There you go. All right. So what else dropped? New Vince Staples. Oh my God. So I know I said that like in a way like it's the most unbelievable thing ever. And to be honest, like I'm a super Vince Staples fan, so I had higher expectations than what we actually got. There's some really dope stuff on it, but I'm probably gonna listen to it a few more times before I determine whether or not I definitely didn't get I didn't feel as impressed as I did with his last offerings. So but I mean, he's dope. The song Fun with E40 in the background and stuff like that. Man, it's such a dope track. I love that track. That's like probably my Have Fun track of the year. Yeah, it's dope. Yeah, Fun is really dope, and that Tweaking joint is really dope too. So shout out to Vince Staples because I'm a super fan of that dude. Gives great interviews and just like and he makes dope music, man. I was a super West Coast fan when I was a youngin'. So hearing him do his thing and the sounds that like come through on his records, yeah, I just really enjoy it. So yeah. Let's see what I missed real quick. It says you can drop some bars on any of the Garden Seas instrumentals, true, or maybe some instrumentals you ain't heard. Let's see. A love letter to you, 3 drop, but in my opinion, it was super disappointing. I gotta look that up. I haven't heard it yet. I gave FM 1 listen. It's huge. I'm a huge Vince Staples fan. That's what's up. Yeah, man. FM is definitely. Yeah, like I mean, I think I got to read up on it, but like in terms of the concept and stuff, how it feels like it's like a radio station and stuff like that. I feel like a lot of the music on it sounds a bit more mainstream than what we typically get from him. But I think that ties into the theme, so that's why I'm holding off complete judgment on it because I'm assuming it has to do heavy with the concept, and I haven't read up on the album. I just listened to it. All right. I'm going to give it a few more listens before I can give it a fair review. Likewise. Don't do that. You bring the hype too easy. All right. So look, yeah. So let's play some stuff before I go talking about other people's stuff some more. Before I talk about what I've been watching. Big Boy in the Neighborhood was the inspiration. He just did an interview with them. That's what's up. Yeah, I figured as much. I kept hearing Big Boy on the joint. I figured that's what it was talking about. What does FM stand for? I feel like that's a shout to my homie Pack FM. That's what's up. All right, let's get into some things. So I'm gonna play some beats for y'all, man. I've been so as y'all know, I've been pushing a lot more of my production in the last year or so, and so I've been keeping pretty busy on that front while also writing new material and so I'm still rapping, obviously, but I've been making a lot more beats these days. So for those who don't know, I have a nephew who raps. He goes by Wealth. His stuff is not like mine. You know what I mean? He raps and his stuff is a lot more trap influence. He spent a lot of time being raised in Houston and stuff. So you hear some of that influence. You hear some of the pop influence. But the boy can rhyme. Like he can rhyme and stuff. His stuff is feels a lot more mainstream than mine. But obviously he family, so he get love. You know what I mean? And he's dope. So, you know what I mean? He gets love. And so what I've been talking to him about, because I've never produced a project for him or really kind of sat with him through a whole release or anything. So right now we're in talks about me producing an entire EP for him. So it's a bit of a challenge for me because I got to find a way to give him production wise something that's not too far from what he does, but at the same time, still feels like something I can get into. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let y'all hear some beats, man. And maybe I'll spit a bar or two if something hit me while we're vibing. I haven't really listened to it with that ear yet. I just really been on wearing my producer hat. What do you think of the singles released on Oxnard? We'll come back to that in a second. I got you, Ethan. Frequency modulation. My name, I think he was referring to my boy Pac FM, who had an album that was called What Does FM Stand For? If y'all haven't heard that album, you should look up. If you're not familiar with Pac FM, definitely look him up. Love your shirt. Big Daddy TV, thank you. So if you want one of these hoodies, just go to iamsubstantial.com/gear. All right. These hoodies are available for all of you. So I'm glad you're digging it, though. All right. It's all good, my name. Hey, thank you, man. Aiden, I appreciate that support. Yeah, that's right, y'all. Super Chat is on. So if you ever want to make a donation or something like that to the channel, feel free to do so. If not, it's judgment free zone. I don't necessarily do it for that, but by all means, if you want to, I'm not going to stop you. So thank you, Aiden, for that support. What's that workout you're talking about? I have no idea. All right. Hey, Badass Don, thank you for putting that link in there. All right, so let's play some beats, shall we? Let's get into it because it's a little quiet in here and we need some heat right now. All right, so here's the first beat that I produced for my nephew. He's already writing to this one. Yes. All right. Let me know if it's too loud or not loud enough. All right. Paul the Reaper, peace to you. It can be a little louder, I think. Okay. And it's a bass heavy beat, so you're not going to hear every element super clear. Thank you, Aiden. Nah, no steel drums. Thank you, Steph. Glad y'all feeling the beat. We got 30 people viewing right now. Thank y'all for tuning in. If you haven't shared the link yet, please do so. I just realized I haven't even shared the link. All right. Again, for those wondering what we're listening to, it's a beat that I produced for my nephew for a project that I'm doing for him. Yeah, man. So that's one of the beats I produced this weekend. I was working real hard trying to make sure I came through for my nephew and hit him with some stuff, man. I definitely been looking for more opportunities to do tracks for different folks and stuff, man. Not necessarily. I didn't start really doing more production with the goal of trying to get beats out to people. I really was trying to make really dope instrumental stuff. But in terms of like the people who I'm closest to, those I care about most, and I definitely want to do whatever I can to help their careers and stuff, man. I've been looking for opportunities to just do more stuff for them, like with my immediate circle more than anything. Hey, Paul, you're funny. You he said, "Oh, you gonna make bananas too?" Hell no, I'm not making bananas too. That's gonna be the running joke on here for the next couple of weeks. That's hilarious. Thank you. My name is my name. Let's see, you're a good dude for helping our family. Like, hey man, look, when I was tweeting about it, there's a saying that I always say, where it's like, yo, if I can't help out, if I don't help out family, who will, right? And so my nephew, man, he's been working hard at it since he was a youngin. Matter of fact, y'all, if you've ever heard the Substantial Burns project that I did years ago with a producer named Burns, my nephew was actually rapping on there when he was like 16 or 17 years old. Y'all can check that out. It's available on all streaming sites. It's called Substantial Burns. And there's a song called Nobody Cares or something like that with my nephew on it. And so, yeah, man, he's been sticking with it. Again, what he does is very different from what I do in terms of like sonically, you know what I mean? And some of what he talks about, because the stuff's a lot more mainstream. But I mean, he's dope, man. He has great work ethic, and I've just been watching him grind for years. And so he still comes to me for like career advice and different things like that. And I never try to force him to do. I don't try to force him to try to do what I'm doing musically. You know what I mean? I respect where he's going with it, and I just want to see him do the best version of what he does. And so if I can be a part of that, I'm excited. So my nephew's name, right? You can look him up because he already has stuff on some of the streaming sites. His name is Wealth. All right. His real name's Richard. And I gave and when he was trying to figure out a stage name, I told him, I was like, yo, you should go by Wealth, because that's like anybody who really no one really aspires to quote unquote, like, no, not that no one, but people shouldn't be aspiring to be rich. You should be aspiring to obtain wealth. You know what I mean? So you can, so it's not just about making things great for yourself. It's about making things great for the generations that come after you, being able to have something for your family and leave a legacy behind, not just that they can be proud of, but also that can provide for future generations of your family. And so we had a really cool conversation about that, and he ended up going with Wealth as his rhyme name. So it's just Wealth with a 3. I believe he does. I believe he does have a SoundCloud, but he's on Spotify. Y'all can he has songs up on Spotify. He's doing it. You know what I mean? He's putting this stuff out there for real. So yeah, man. Look, enough of this rapidy. Introducing Spotify. I can have him. He's already on there. If you search Wealth, how I posted it before up here, you search that. Yeah, and he'll pop up. All right. So let's hear one more beat. So this is the second beat I did for him this weekend. He hasn't told me whether he likes this one yet or not. I don't know. We'll see. He in Houston, so and they be riding, man, slow and just dirty. You know what I mean? Just. That's what's up, hey. Hey, Steph, thank you. I've been putting in work, Steph. I've been, Hey, I appreciate that. Good looking. Caddy on spokes, right? The joints poking out too. Clean. Thank you, Calvin. I appreciate it. AD, good looking. I appreciate that. That means a lot. I'm gonna tell my nephew come back here and watch this. So if you fake on this beat, I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna need you to make something happen. Oh yeah. So like the beats I'm doing for him too. Like the first two were pretty chill, but like the next few I'm gonna do is gonna be a lot harder. Just try to mix it up. You know what I mean? Hey, look, I already, Steph, you already know. Go ahead and stop this joint. Yeah, man. I'm glad y'all feeling the track. I've been like I said, I've been working, yo. Like really been working on a lot of stuff, man. Just trying to get some really dope things together. You know, for my nephew, obviously, I'm not just working on stuff for him. I'm working on some other things too. I'll let y'all hear one more beat in a second. Strong UGK bot. Sir Sebastian, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. That means a lot because I've been listening to them dudes since middle school, man. So, and I'm a huge fan of them too. Definitely was really trying to capture like that classic Texas sound. You know what I mean? Reminds me of Blue and Exile type of tune. That's what's up. Hold on. I feel like I missed somebody. Okay, so far, blah, blah, blah. All right. Let's see. No rapper, but I'll snatch it if he doesn't want it. Y'all funny. So look, whole time, told you I'm getting over something. Yeah, man, like, hey, support his nephew for banana soup. You're not gonna let this die, are you? So look, man, whole time, what's been happening, like as I'm producing stuff, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, I'm trying to do tracks for certain people who've been asking me for it. But like the best thing about production, because my next album I'm actually gonna produce myself. So as I'm making beats for people, all I'm doing is like when I'm making in my mind, I'm like, this works really well for what I plan on doing for my record. So you better snatch it up because if you don't, I definitely got work for it. You know what I mean? And so yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. That's some deep legacy stuff. And have Sherm sing the chorus. That's been that. Hey, yeah, y'all are fools. So let me let you hear another, shall we? Hold up 1 second. So this next beat, I might have played. I can't remember if I played a snippet of this on the show or not. I might have played it on IG Live when I first started making it. I feel like I did that. But anyway, this next beat, man, is yeah, it's pretty dope. It's pretty dope. Now this one sonically, like it's a little different than the other joints or whatever. This has more Portishead, like trip hop feel. So I was stepped to by some French filmmakers to do a song for their documentary, which is focused on Japan. And basically they have different scenes in different cities. And they let me select what city I wanted to make music for. And so there's a small town in the city called Kyoto. Kyoto is one of my favorite cities to visit in Japan because there's so much history there. And a lot of people don't know it's the original capital of Japan before Tokyo was the capital. If you take the TO at the end of Kyoto and then move it to the front, it becomes Tokyo. Fun little fact for you. So anyway, this is a beat that I did for them, for the film, and they already confirmed that it's going to be used. And yeah, and it's freaking dope. Let me see these comments before I hit play real quick, and maybe I'll spit to this one. I'm glad you pointed that out. Substantial must be hard making a beat and realizing you could work with it, but you made it for someone else. Yeah, it does. It's hard, man, because you have to be disciplined enough to say no. Like I made this for someone else, so let me see what they want to do first, right? And so this next beat I'm about to play, I actually made it for. I made it initially for Lucy Camp, and so she likes it. So there's a chance that the instrumental version might be in this film, but then there's a chance that she may make a song with this beat that y'all are about to hit. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. You know, we'll see what happens. Let me see what other comments I missed before I hit play. How much scissor was consumed during the production of those tracks? None at this time. None at this time. Can't make you no promises. Nah, I'm drug free. Except for all of it. Oh snap! I've been slacking today. I gotta take my medicine today. I just realized. It's not syrup. It's not syrup. It's for me fighting this stuff I've been dealing with all week. All right, fans of Rise Son, you the best MC dropping that fire. Thank you, I appreciate it, man. Good looking. A wealth of knowledge. Thank you, Steph. All right, so here we go. Let me play this beat and see what y'all think of it. All right. Damn, you're old. Jesus. Cold as ice. It's right here though. Malcolm, good looking, man. Clap it up for Malcolm Jackson, y'all. Yeah, man. Thank y'all, y'all. I appreciate it. Yeah. I remember being poured in the mud. Mama overworked. Let's see. I think I can spit to this one. Yeah, I'm gonna spit to this one. How about that? We're gonna take it back. I'll spit some bars for this one. How about that? Sound good, right? Here we go. Here we go. All right. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I know, right, Steph? I mean, I made it for her. You know what I mean? So we'll see. But if she don't, this beat can get that work. I'm a slow flower though. Yeah, listen. I remember being poured in the mud. Mama overworked, I'm strung, got no drugs. Sis stressed out cause a friend caught a slug. Another one stressed, caught beating on his hub. Another one stressed cause the son at school struggling. I swear to be a black man means juggling the weight of the world and pain and suffering. Somehow I find a reason to smile and love again. Meanwhile, working and working to get by. For most certain, they certainly just died. Battle what they certain and hurting but survive. Ain't picture perfect, I'm learning to just fly. Being in the sky don't mean look down on. Everybody on the ground from now on. Something, and the crown on. You know what I mean? Bullshit. But yeah, man. You know. Bars for our forehead. Yes. For your foreheads. You are welcome. J. Cole. Hey, man, listen, I like her. know what I mean? But I appreciate that compliment. Thank you. Just messing around, yo. All right. That's what's up. Hey, man, I'm glad y'all was digging the joint. So, yeah, man, lots of beats been being made. When you spit, I gotta close my eyes always. Hey, man, thank you. I appreciate it. Gabriel, good looking out. All right, so yeah, man, lots of tunes, lots of music been working on. You know, yeah, man, there's a lot more to play, but there's so much more I wanted to talk about real quick. I'll let the beat keep playing while I mention some of the other stuff. So look, shout out to everybody right now who may be a veteran. You know, I know it's Veterans Day, so salute to you. Thank you for your service. Peace to my family and stuff that have served. My brother Ricky, my brother Daryl. You know, shout out to the homie Nick, who served, and a long list of my other friends. Peace to Marcus D's dad as well, man. Served. My father, rest in peace, who served. My uncle, who served as well. You know what I mean? So shout out to them. And again, any of you who served, thank you for your service. Other things, man. Hey, shout out to you if you're one of the people that voted during the midterm elections. You know what I mean? They had a higher voter turnout for this election than they did some of the actual presidency election. So that's amazing. You know what I mean? And it's dope in terms of all of the diversity that we were able to bring into the government, and all the women we're now going to be serving. So, you know, congrats to those people who we were pushing for, who made it in. We'll see what happens with Stacey. I believe her last name was Stacey Abrams, I think it is, in Georgia. See what happens with that, and then we'll see what happens with Andrew Gillum as well, since he rescinded his with him conceding in the race. So, you know, we'll see, man. We'll see. It's been a lot of interesting stuff going on. But anyway, a couple comments. Let's see. My order came in yesterday. Wife loves the shirt. That's what's up. So I said thank you for rocking it. Hey, man, if y'all get some dope pictures, send it to me if you don't mind me posting it. I would love to share it. Definitely any of you who have any gear, any substantial gear, and you take pictures, tag me in it. Obviously, I'll repost it and stuff, especially if you're someone who is looking to promote things that you do and you happen to be rocking one of my shirts and stuff. I'll definitely support those who support me. So yeah, man, if you ever do something like that, take a picture, tag me in it, and I'll gladly repost it or share it on my website or something like that. All right, let's see. Always been a fan. My name says always been a fan because of the realness and the relatability of your lyrics. Hey, thank you, sis. I appreciate it. You know, just trying to make like honest, like quality stuff, you know. Yeah, Steph, that's what's up. Tell your dad when you talk to him, I say happy Veterans Day to him. All right, Substantial Lupe, J. Cole, the album meme is Rising Sun shining through the darkness. That's what's up. Wow, I didn't realize he served in Nam. That's what's up. Yeah, big respect to Steph's dad. Yo, sub, just wanted to say thanks from the bottom of my heart to Pagavelli. I appreciate it. Thank you for listening. The beat is really sick. Where can I find it though? Again, so the dope thing and the torturous thing about watching Substantial Sundays is I share a lot of stuff that hasn't been released yet. So I don't have an official release date for this instrumental nor the other beats that I played. But y'all are the first to hear it. And the second that that it is released, if you are part of the notification squad, or you follow me on any of the other platforms such as Spotify, or any of that, you'll be notified the moment it drops. So just make sure, hey man, I can't stress it enough. If you're not following me on any of these platforms, and I mean, I don't know how that's possible because you're obviously here, but if for some reason you're not, then you're gonna miss stuff like that. But yeah, so listen, Tangent, Walking Keys. There's a lot of my other instrumentals that are already up. You can check out some of those, but these beats aren't available yet. All right. They're trying to play us in Georgia. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy what's happening in Georgia right now. Also, you know, something else that was crazy that happened this week. Rest in peace to those that we lost recently in another mass shooting, yo. It's crazy, yo. This is America. Like, yeah, it's I'm at this point, man, like I don't want to say I'm becoming numb to it because I mean it hurts every time I see it. But it's just, it's one of those things that you realize that you're in a place where certain people in power are going to continue to do nothing when it comes to things like that. And so, I mean, that's why the midterms was so important. And I'm glad so many people turned out because we need the change how a lot of those how Congress looks, how the House looks. A lot of these places are filled with people who don't care, like they just really don't care about certain things. They're going to push the agendas that they want to push, and so in order for us to make a difference in that respect, like we got to get some people in there who do and who have a problem and who've been very vocal about how it's time for a lot of these laws to change and make it difficult for people to get their hands on the stuff that they're getting their hands on. All right. Let's see. A couple more questions that I might have missed. Thoughts on Oxnard singles? Thank you for reminding me. Ethan. Probably my favorite of the Oxnard singles is Tense. I just love feel good music, man. Like the moment that joint drops, I'm two-stepping, even in my car, which is crazy because that's like a death sentence. Like the moment it drops, man, the beat is just, oh my God, like the music's dope. Kendrick does his thing. Anderson, does his thing per usual. It's just dope. Tangent, I won't be battling you. Sorry. But back to Ethan. Between Bubbling and what was it? Who Are You? I don't know which one I like more yet. I gotta let the other joint ride a little more. And then we'll see. Shout out to these rappers for giving us new viewpoint in life and positive vibes. Hey, Paul, yes, indeed. Is there bananas merch? There are no bananas merch. There is no bananas merch. Yo, y'all are not going to let bananas out. That's called the grocery store. That was pretty good, Johnny. That was pretty good. Are you ever going to hit up Philly? Tangent, I performed in Philly a few times. I don't have a very big fan base in Philly. So I don't go very often because I don't get a lot of requests to do things there. In the past, when I have done stuff there, like I did a show with Last Emperor and Sadat X, and we did that show, and there was like maybe 30 people there. That's crazy. Like, those are two legends. One of the dudes is a Philly staple. And like, even with those dudes on the bill, it was still only like 30 people there. And then I performed in Philly with PH. Rest in peace to my brother PH. I performed out there with him one time, and then it was a similar situation, like maybe 30 or 40 people. It's always small shows, and I don't really care about the size. If I'm gonna make the trip, I just want to make sure it's promoted well and that there's enough people in the city who actually care to see what I do, you know what I mean? So that like it can be worth everybody's time. And regardless, I mean, if 10 of y'all show up, you're gonna get a show like 10,000 people showed up. I'm gonna do my thing regardless, but I want to make sure it's done right. And if y'all haven't been noticing, I've been kind of cutting back on the shows. I haven't been doing a lot of them, because I've been working on so much stuff. But anyway, what was it I was gonna say? A couple of quick things. Number one, there is a couple of events coming up this Friday. I know Uncrowned Otaku was up in here. This Friday, I'm actually performing in Suitland, Maryland, which is the same area I went to high school in, and the same city, like the first city I ever performed in on the stage was Suitland, where I'm from. And so I'm doing a show there this Friday at a venue called Creative Suitland. It's free. It's family friendly. It's from 7 to 10 p.m. this upcoming Friday. Check that out. I need to say who won from last week. There we go. So look, real quick, do me a favor, pause on the questions for a quick second, just so I can do so I can announce who won from last week based on the people who commented after the video. All right. So we're going to do the grab bag, which is the grab Scully. You know what I'm saying? So hold on one second. All right. So we're going to say who won. And if you won, I'm going to need you to reach out to me through iamsubstantial.com through the contact section and send me your address. All right. So here we go. Let's see what name comes up. Miles B, you are the winner. So that means you get the CD triple pack, if I'm not mistaken. So make sure you contact me and let me know your email, not your email. If contact me via email, let me know your mailing address, and you will win. And you will receive your CD triple pack this week, all autographed, all that good stuff. If they are CDs you already have and you want to use them as gifts for someone else, just let me know. They don't have to be signed, but yeah. Sorry, Johnny. Better luck next time. But look, let's do it. Let's do it one more time, right? So when this video is done, what we'll do is this. We'll do another triple pack, right? And then we're going to do something exclusively for people who are in the DMV. So if you are in the DMV area this Saturday, I have an event that my company is having. My company is called Substantial Art and Music. And we are hosting an event called Fundamentals, which basically is a workshop where my wife, who's a former grants manager in Fairfax, Virginia, she basically is doing a presentation on ways that you can receive grants or pursue grants to fund either your music, your art, or your organization. And I'll be doing a presentation on how to successfully crowdfund whatever project you're working on. For those of you who've been paying attention, I've successfully funded 4 different crowdfunding projects, and then 2 where I was brought in as a consultant to help out with the project. So I'm 6 for 6 at this point in time, and so a lot of times people reach out to me asking for help with it, asking for suggestions, and so we're doing a workshop this Friday. Link is in the description. Pardon me. Links in the description. That is Saturday, November 17th. So here's the 2 things you can win this week. If you are a resident of the DMV, DC, Maryland, Virginia, or you're going to be in this area and you would like to attend that event, and it sounds like something you're interested in, just put a comment related to it in the comment section after this video is done for a chance to win a free ticket. All right. 1 free ticket for anybody who comments and is in the DMV who's interested in going to Fundamentals. All right. And for those of you who aren't in the DMV, you get a chance to win a CD triple pack. All right. By commenting on the video. And I'll do the grab button, the grab bag / grab Scully. Yo, I'll be so happy when this is when I'm done being sick. This is crazy. Anyway, I'll announce that next week when you guys tune in. And what I'll do is I'll go in the comment section and comment to the people who won from the week before as well, in case you miss it. All right. So and someone asked about overseas. Yes, I do overseas. All right. So let's see. Oh, we got to do song breakdown of the day. For those of you who are waiting for that, let me see what questions I might have missed first. Let's see. Yeah, the 1,000 Oak shooting. Yeah, that was what I was mentioning before. Sadly, it's crazy. I definitely appreciate the exclusive content and the fact that you actually interact with us on a personal level at home on the couch. Hey, man, look, it's all love. I think in today's day and age, I recently read an article. So for those of you who are musicians, this is something to think about, right? And I believe there was a question before that I need to address too. So in today's day and age, there's an article I read that was basically saying that it's actually harder now for new artists to build to build like fan loyalty, right? And it's just my personal observation from the kids I work with. Like I work with hundreds of kids a day, right? And I had a lot of conversations with them about music. And one of the things I always ask, I'm like, what's your favorite art? Or who's your favorite artist? And you will be surprised if I ask 10 kids who their favorite artists are, like most of the time, like I probably get like 2 to 3 kids who actually have a favorite artist. But most of them, most teens that I come across don't actually have a favorite artist. They have songs they like, but they're not loyal to any like select group of artists, right? Like if you make something they like, they rock with you. And and then that's it. As they start to get older, they start to build a little loyalty because they've been rocking with you for a while. So as a new artist, that's something to consider. Like that, like if you're making music in this day and age, because things are so playlist driven, it's becoming less and less about the album and more about singles, which is returning to the original model of the music industry when everything was very single driven, like pre Beatles, right? And so just it's something to pay attention to. And so I think an easy way to kind of build that loyalty, that support, is by doing things like what I'm doing, right? Like when we do this every week. Now, granted, there aren't thousands of people watching this every week. It's only a small amount of you who tune in of the like thousands of fans I have worldwide. And that's fine with me. It never becomes an issue of, oh, only 10 people tuned in. I'm wasting my time. They don't really love me, blah, blah, blah. I don't do all that. You know what I mean? I don't do all that crying about stupid stuff like that. Look, if 10 of y'all show up to watch it, the show goes on. Like we gonna have a good time. Whatever questions you ask are gonna get answered. As long as you're respectful, whatever, we're not gonna have any problems and things are gonna be great. And I don't take that for granted because it's like, yo, I do this for an hour. And a lot of you have everyone has personal lives, right? And other more important things going on. But you're choosing to spend your time with me for an hour, just like I'm choosing to not spend time with my family for an hour so I can build with the people who help me provide for my family. And that's why I make time for the people who are loyal to me, because I understand how fickle the industry is and how I'm lucky to have the support that I have, regardless of how hard I work for it. And it's not about feeling as though walking around with this guilt on my shoulders, feeling as though I owe y'all anything, right? Like it's more about it's just a respect that I have for the people who show so much love. You know what I mean? What type of person would I be if I didn't return that love in some way, shape, or form? So this is my way of doing it. Yeah. So it says, what video game were you making music for? Great question. If it's FSG. Two video games I made music for recently. One was a video game called Renee, which comes out in 2019. And another one is a video game coming out in South Korea called Tree of Savior. That one's an online game. And it's only in South Korea. The other one, Renee, is going to be on the Switch. It's like a retro style video game, like an adventure game that your kids can play if you got kids, or you can play. And it's a judgment-free zone because I'm going to be playing it because it has my music in it, and I think that's pretty awesome. So I'm going to be sitting there playing and rapping along to my song. That's going to be tight. No official release date yet. As soon as I get one, y'all will be the first to know. People hate, and they hate so much, and they're going to hate, and they go to any lengths. We just got to spread love. Absolutely. People are making line dances to tent. Yo, yeah, that is dope. Question mark in a weird place. Trying to catch. Respect and love for fellow brothers and sisters. Their spirits will always be here. Yes, indeed. Trying to see if I missed anything else. Oh, yeah. We are going to do the song breakdown right now for Waiting for the Clouds. I'm waiting for the clouds to part. All right, so give me 1 second. All right, trying to see. Confucius. Hey, yeah, you're funny. Damn, I was at work last week. I feel like I missed a lot. All right, so I'm gonna go down real quick. My boy diversifying. I'm trying, man. Live my best life out here. You know. Ice Killer Peace, man. Oh, that's dope. You've actually played it before. It's dope to be able to say stuff, and I don't know how much y'all know about it, but y'all know more than me, and I just happen to be a part of it. That works out great. I'm happy about that because when they first hit me up, I had never heard of it, but then when I saw what it looked like, I'm like, yo, this game looks great in terms of the graphics and everything. And the beat's a little different. It's not what y'all are accustomed to hearing me spit to. The beat's like some dubstep, electro type stuff, but it came out pretty dope. Standing so far behind on the comments, he got to start reading the past weeks. It's a struggle, man. I don't have Sherm with me, so it's a lot more work when it's just me, because I'm trying to make sure I answer one question, but then meanwhile, more stuff is coming in. All right, I played a bit of Tree of Savior. Got that. What's up? Getting into video games now? Absolutely. You're a true OG. Thank you, Johnny. Let's see. I've always learned something when I watch the live streams. That's what's up. I feel like you asked the question before, Aiden, that I missed. I'm gonna answer that, and then we'll get to waiting for the clouds. Joshua, I just saw that, man. Thank you. I appreciate it, bro. So look, the question I think you had before, if it wasn't you, Aiden, it was someone else. Someone was saying, how do you make beats like in different styles and stuff like that? and not use the same style over and over again. Um, I think for me, like what it is especially when you're sampling, it's kind of easy to do, right? Like some people only sample stuff that fit into the vein of the stuff they like to sample, right? Me, I listen to a wide variety of music. So sometimes I will sample something that's very jazzy, right? Or soul music, whatever. And then other times I'll sample something that is soulful, but it doesn't necessarily fit into the soul genre, right? Or I'll sample something that is digital, but it speaks to me in a way where it's very electro influence and stuff like that, but it's something about it that has a dope groove or speaks to me in a certain way. And so because I listen to so much music or whatever, I'll pull different influences that kind of fit that sound, right? But then I'll develop it in a way which, in terms of how it is sequenced and how the beat builds and where it goes, that's kind of my signature. Not so much the actual sound, right? Like I don't want to be a producer who uses certain sounds so much that the second the beat drop, you automatically know it's me because I use that sound again, right? For the millionth time. I don't want to be that guy. I kind of want to be, not kind of, I want to be that producer that you recognize it's me because of the structure, like how it's built, right? And I hope that's something y'all are seeing in my production right now, which I'm really pushing that to kind of separate myself from other producers. Because I feel like a lot of people are just kind of looping up some things and it has like one or two changes and it's real basic and whatever. Like I'm trying to build a lot of layers and then take out certain like elements and certain points so it feels like a song, whether someone's rapping or singing on it or not. A lot of times I hear people's beats and they're just beats and not songs. You know what I mean? It's just a loop. Like because like I can tell a lot of times it was made for someone to actually spit on. You know what I mean? And you just happen to throw it on an instrumental project because you had a bunch of beats. And there's a difference. You know what I mean? And so I study how like other greats made really great instrumental works and how it builds and how the song moves. Or I study what makes a great song a song, right? Like from the vast majority of music that's come out, like over the years and throughout time, and I try to keep those things in mind when I'm building my production. Because those two beats you just heard, those aren't beats that have been sitting around. Like I built those beats this weekend. And the amount of change, with the exception of the last beat I played, and with the amount of changes that you hear in the different movements that are happening in the beats, they sound like beats that are almost fully developed. And the fact of the matter is, I'm still going to go back in on them and rework them and do even more with them. And so, but like they already got like 8 to 10 elements happening in it right now, where there's enough elements that I can move it around and have it go in different places. So yeah. Let's see, whole lot of comments, and then it's waiting for the clouds time. It says seriously substantial has always been dope with the beats. All his UV ink work. Hey, Steph knows what she's talking. Thank you, Steph. A lot of people don't know how long I've been doing beats. I'm my own worst critic, so I never felt like comfortable to really put them out there without someone rapping on it, right? But like with the movement that we've been seeing with instrumental hip hop, I'm like, hey man, look, I feel like someone when I'm hearing, I know the type of work I can do. And I believe I finally am confident in what I'm doing enough to share it. Yeah. Any memories of when those albums came out, Midnight Marauders and 36 Chambers? Yeah, I'm a super Tribe fan. As much as I love Midnight Marauders, it's not my favorite Tribe album. My favorite Tribe album is Low End Theory. But yeah, Midnight Marauders, man, it's just freaking classic. I just remember living in Maple Ridge off Bryce Heat Road and vibing to that record, playing it at nighttime. And I thought it was so dope that they were saying like how they made the album to be played at night, right? And so when I was like something real simple. I mean, I was a teenager, so I was like, oh, that's cool. They made it to be listened to at night, and I am listening to it at night. That's kind of awesome. And then it just feels like night music. It's just dope. You know what I mean? It's just, and then the samples, y'all, the fucking samples in that record, crazy, yo. Like, yo, Q-Tip, Ali, Yo, them dudes geniuses. Rest in peace, Fife. And then Wu Tang, yo, forget about it, man. Wu Tang just made you want to get your bars up. You know what I mean? It's like yo, Wu Tang was, yeah, that first album though, it was just ridiculous. It's crazy though, going back listening to ODB though, like realizing that that Method Man and Jizza wrote a lot of ODB stuff. It's like because now when I listen to him, I'm like, okay, Jizza wrote that one, right? Meth wrote that one, you know, and you can hear it. You know what I mean? Like when I hear shame on a nigga who tried to run game on it, like it sounds like Meth. You know what I mean? In terms of like how his verses delivered on that joint. But anyway, we gotta keep it moving. Sub under a blanket with a flashlight. It wasn't exactly like that, but sure, why not? This is my go-to album whenever I'm at work taking care of flowers. That's what's up. The entire garden is beautiful, start to finish. I fall asleep to it sometimes. That's what's up. Single tear. Thank you. Keys in Them City is one of my favorites. Yeah, that's a classic joint. Um, Favorite instrumental from you is Full Bloom. Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I tried to make that joint sound as live as I could make it with a whole bunch of samples and programming drums in a way that felt very organic. All right, so here we go, y'all. Breakdown, waiting for the clouds to part, waiting to be out of the dark. All right, so here is the song breakdown for that. So that particular track, it actually starts the history of that song. So for those who don't know, oh no, I don't have any pets, Gabriel. I'm allergic to like cats and then certain dogs, so I don't do well with pets. Dogs love me though. I don't like cats. Anyway, so waiting for the clouds to part, which was produced by Nujabes. Here's the story behind it. So initially, the story behind that song doesn't even start with that actual song, right? So when Nujabes was still alive, one of my last trips to Japan before he passed, we were working on new music, and he gave me a beat. Shortly after that, he emailed me a particular beat and said, "I want you to use this beat for something." And there's a song that I put out on the single. There's a B-side on the single for Resurrection of the House Party. It's a song called Change Does It, which is produced by Algorithm. That song was originally written to the beat that Nujabes sent me at that particular time, right? And so I ended up using that song over the Algorithm beat because me and Nujabes hadn't worked out how the song was going to come out, and he hadn't decided what he wanted to do with it yet, and didn't have a place for it. So time went on or whatever. I kind of forgot about what we initially talked about because I hadn't heard from him about it, and so I decided to put it out a different way. Moving on, he passes away some years later. Of course, I'm devastated. And then later that year, they hit me up while I was in Seattle. Right, I was in Seattle on vacation with the family, and while I was there, I was contacted by it was crazy. A lot of stuff happened while I was at like on this trip, but I was contacted by my man. I'm trying to remember who from the label hit me up. I think it was Takumi that hit me up, if I'm not mistaken. But Takumi hits me up. They say how they wanted to use the song that me and Jim was working on. And I tell them, I was like, because Jim had never got back to me about it, I decided to use those lyrics on something else. And so they were like, oh, man, well, it works out because we couldn't find the original files from that beat anyway. But there's this other beat that he did that it sounds like something that you could use, and we really want you to use it. So Waiting for the Clouds, what makes it extremely unique of all the songs that Nujabes and I did together, it's the only one that truly was done after he passed away. All the other songs, he was still alive when we worked on. But Waiting for the Clouds is the one that I did after he passed. And so they basically they sent me the beat for Waiting for the Clouds. This was before Uyama played on it, and I was immediately blown away. I happened to get the file while I was in Seattle, Seattle is known for being cloudy, right? The irony of it is I've been to Seattle a lot of times, and the ridiculous amount of trips I've had going to Seattle to link with Marcus D or touring with other people and stuff. It's only ever been cloudy 2 times of the close to 10 trips I've taken to Seattle. It's only ever been cloudy 2 times that I've been there. But on the particular day that they sent me the beat, it was a cloudy day. Like it was like I was there for a week. The clouds didn't, or not a week, but almost a week. And it didn't become cloudy until the last day, the day I received the beat. And I woke up to clouds and that beat. And you know, and it was so beautiful throughout that week. It was like it was, you know, it was sad. It was sad for multiple reasons. It was sad because, you know, here I am about to work on a song with my man, but this is the first time me working on a song with Jun, and he's actually not alive. For us to work together on it, for me to get feedback on it. So it was sad for that reason. And then, you know, the week was beautiful throughout. And then the one day or whatever, it was just like it was overcast. And I found that to be ironic. You know what I mean? You know, yeah, like I'll never forget that. And so that morning I just started writing. And I just like, you know, I used what was happening outside my window as inspiration to write the track. And yeah, man, you know, I just kind of went with it from there. I'm trying to keep it together right now, you know. I don't really tell this story often. So yeah, man, it's hitting me a little bit. But yeah, so I wrote it. I finished it up once I got back to the East Coast. I sent it to them, and they, you know, Takumi and the crew, they seemed really, really thrilled with how it came out. They send it back to me much later with the parts that Uyama added to it, and it's just like, yo, like I'm listening to it, it's just taking me to a place, and you know, you had that moment where it's like, damn, I wish he could have heard it, you know, like I feel like it's one of the best songs we did, and it's sad because, you know, like he had everything to do with it, but didn't have a lot to do with it at the same time. So that's hard to kind of swallow. And then there's the whole, just the whole thing of like, yo, your boy doesn't get to hear this amazing creation. You know what I mean? That you are both responsible for. And so that is, you know, it's disappointing. It's heart wrenching. And so so not too long after the song came out, went on tour in Japan and performed that song for the first time while we were in Tokyo. And dude, I barely got through the first. I was bawling, like dude's crying so hard. You know, like it's not an easy song to do. You know what I mean? It's not light subject matter, but like I think about like the circumstances and how I ended up writing it. Yeah, and so yeah, man, it's not a super feel good or happy. So I wouldn't say it's not a feel good story, but it's not it's not a very light story. But yeah, that's how that song came to be, man. Like you know, the lyrics I pull a lot from my personal experience, other experiences that I see folks going through, the youth I work with, and situations with them, their parents, conversations I have fueled a lot of what I wrote about on that joint. But yeah, man. So that's the breakdown, if you will, of waiting for the clouds. All right, let me go through, read some of these comments, and then we're gonna get ready to go. I'm gonna get this outro music on. All right, damn, missed a lot. All right, let's see what we got. Answered that pet question already. Steph suggested that next week we do my favorite things. I think that would be dope. Let's see. Ice Killer tends to agree. Okay. Yeah, Steph did kill that hook. Next week we got Heart. Okay, so far we got Heart and my favorite things. Let me write those down. My favorite things. All right, and Heart. All right, we'll take a vote before we dip. Let's see. You still have a bunch of beats he sent you, right? Not so much that I have a bunch of beats that he sent me. I have a bunch of songs that we did. Like we literally have and he is Nujabes for those who don't know. Sir Sebastian, him and him and I have roughly an album worth, at least 10 tracks that were never released. So there's like an album worth of songs that we did that were never released. Oh, pardon, what I didn't mention before too. There's a song I wrote called Umoja. Umoja is Swahili for unity, and that song is sampled in "Waiting for the Clouds." You know, so for those who didn't know that, that's a key part of that breakdown. It says another question I got was, what programs do I use to make beats? Right now, I'm using GarageBand, believe it or not. And then the hardware that I use while I produce is this bad boy right here, Axiom 25 made by M Audio. All right. I am planning to upgrade the Logic in a few months though. That's gonna, like, when I start my next project, I'll probably be working with Logic. Yeah, because I mean, I didn't really need all of the extra bell and whistles to do what I've been doing. Like, it's been working out like really well so far in terms of how the production's been coming out. But I'm thinking, because I'm about to do this whole album with me producing it, you know, I'm not going to be bouncing back and forth between Pro Tools and GarageBand. It's getting stupid at this point now that I'm producing my own stuff. So it's like I might as well just be using Logic. So I'll do everything in there because I'm not recording in GarageBand. I'm, you know, I'm just making the beats there. Well, let's see what else I missed. And do me a favor, just hold off on questions right now because we get close to the end. And I know one of y'all are going to ask me something super deep. This is going to have us here for like 20 more minutes. You know I can talk. You know I'm a talkative dude. Don't do that to us. Don't do it. Let's see. The whole album is majestic. Hold on, what program are you using? Whole album is majestic. It's really moving. All of the featured artists worked hard to make beautiful eulogy album. Absolutely, man. It's a hard record for me to listen to. It's not necessarily my favorite Nujabes record, because I know a lot of it, the post production happened without him. But it is a beautiful record. It's a beautiful tribute to him. So if your voice on the verge is a different type of love, yes, it is. Yes, the hell it is. Shout out to Steph. He did hear it. I know he loved it. D, I appreciate that. Just a spiritual state album opening song. It feels like a celebration of Jen's life with the subtle clapping sounds, like saying goodbye, but also welcome him eternally. Yeah, man. Yeah. Understandable for sure. My favorite Nujabes album. That's what's up. That track reached his spirit. It was too amazing not to. And I'm sure he's proud. I appreciate that. Thank you. Y'all gonna make me cry, man. Shut up. Shut up. Helped me calm down after my grandma died. That's what's up. That's, man, it's always dope when music can do that, you know? Probably because I personally prefer his sound, the sound of Uyama. Yeah, Uyama's amazing. By the way, I'm on Uyama's next album. So I'll give you guys updates as that gets a little closer. I've played snippets of the song already. Maybe I'll revisit it once I get some dates from him. All right. Magic about it to me. That's what's up. Tell us about the Nujabes tribute concert. I don't know when they're doing the next one, but the concerts are always dope because it's like a reunion. You know what I mean? You get to see all of these guys who work with him, and you know, and all of these friends that I've made over 20 years are going back and forth to Japan. And so that's a beautiful thing, man. You know, it's hard. It's definitely hard. You know what I mean? Like, it's a great experience, but it's tough. Like, you know, while I'm flying there, I'm usually flying alone, and I'm like constantly just thinking about the fact that, you know, it's almost like you know you're going to a funeral, right? Like, you know, like you know who the person is who brought you all together, but you also know they're not there. And it's like they're there spiritually, but you can't physically touch them. You can't hug them. So that's hard, especially when you're seeing all of these people who you know love them as much as you did, if not more. And so that becomes difficult. But yeah, I'm sure they're gonna do another tribute concert this year. I haven't got any details yet. Second I find out, I'll let you know. Word is though they're planning to do something big in 2020, the 10-year anniversary of his passing. So I'll keep you guys posted because we've already talked about the big plans, and we said a lot of folks are interested in making this happen. So we'll see what happens. Watch your emotions in the video about your teacher that thought you were yeah, man, listen. Oh, you talking about so there's that was a tough thing to deal with. Like, definitely check that video out if you haven't. It's the one that says substantial performs at the Smithsonian. It's like me talking about like certain things I went through when I was younger. But yeah, that joint it affected me, man. Like when I was younger, it wasn't a very emotional response. It was more like pissed off and angry. But me, when I think back on it, and because now I know what it was. You see what I'm saying? Like back then, I didn't know that was prejudice that I was dealing with, or even a bit of racism, right? Like I didn't understand what that was when it happened, and so now as an adult to think about like those moments where I endure stuff like that, and how it could potentially affect me and how I interact with others, it's hard. It hurts. So I appreciate that comment, Joshua. Heard no turning back. In the hostel I was staying in London. That's what's up. Was wild for me. I'm straight from Cincy. That's what's up. You have a much wider reach than I could have imagined. Yo, it's funny. London is like my second largest streaming market, after LA. Like LA and then like London. London usually like bounces back and forth from like top 2 or 3 in terms of my streaming. So that's dope. That's love. Levi, peace, man. Good to see you up in here. Looking forward to even more hype for the next Uyama album. Absolutely ready to hear this album. What's your relationship with Shingo? With Shing like? Yeah, Shing's cool, man. We don't talk. Me and Shingo don't talk often. And when he's around and stuff, he's a quiet dude and stuff for the most part. And I'm a very loquacious guy. So I'm usually caught up in my thing or whatever. And he's kind of doing his, but yeah, it's all love. You know what I mean? Like he's definitely cool peoples and stuff. Like we've been throwing the idea around about doing something. So maybe it'll happen in the next year. We'll see. Substantial Japan video shorts. You will repeat whenever you have. That's what's up. Sub, if you don't mind me asking, who told you about his passing? That's a great question, actually. Shout out to my brother Marcus D, man. Marcus D unfortunately had the rough job of letting me know. At the time he was on the West Coast, and so like when I'm asleep, he's up. And so he got the news, and he hit me up super early, and he just was like, yo, I wanted to make sure you heard it from me before you went online and saw what Nujabes passed away. And yeah, I just remember being floored. And I had a show that night too. And the DJ was playing some of his tracks right before I went on. And it was dope that they were showing him love, but that definitely didn't make my job any easier that night. It wasn't a rough performance. Like, I try to be as professional as possible, but it definitely wasn't easy. It sure as hell wasn't easy. But yeah. The crazy thing about him, about Marcus telling me is like later on when Dextream passed away, Marcus was the one to let me know that too. Like I felt terrible that day when Marcus had to tell me because when I was like, damn, yo, like I know what these dudes meant to you just as a fan, right? Because he didn't meet them, but I know how big an influence they were on him. And then and just him having the job of having to tell his friend that these two people who like meant so much to my career and who I call friends, he had to tell me like in both situations that they passed. And he made sure that he was the first to let me know. Like he was just going out of his way to make sure like I found out from him before I saw it. A bunch of comments online and shit. And so, I love him for that. I love him for a lot of reasons, but yeah, and the wild shit was when Dextream died, like Marcus called me, and when I saw his number pop up, it was his birthday. I was like, yo, what you calling me for? I was gonna call you He was like, nah, man, yo, I appreciate the birthday love, but yo, I just wanted to let you know something. So he had to tell me Dextrine died on his birthday. Uh, it's just fucking unreal. But yeah, man, it's been rough, you know. Um, Let me pay off these credit cards so I can make this trip. Yeah, yo, you gotta come, Steph. It would be crazy. Any plans to do a show in Jersey or PA anytime soon? Not at this time, but I'll definitely keep you posted. Also, do you like Jinsabaz, Vern Pasa, Fiscus? I gotta look it back up. The title doesn't it's not ringing any bells. There's a lot of songs that I know from him where it's like I don't always remember the titles. And there's certain joints I mix up, but that one doesn't seem very familiar. Also watched the video of long hair Sherm cutting your locks. Yeah, man. First time I saw it. That's dope. Or oh no, why did you remind me of real? um Marcus really is a good dude. Shout out to Marcus D too. The tracks he produced that he flipped for Ghibli Studios is coming out really soon. So look out for that. That drops November 14th. Follow him online already. Follow him online if you don't already know, so you can get that info. All right. So look, yo, we gotta go, man. Yeah, it's getting too emotional out here. You know what I'm saying? It's getting too heavy. You know what I mean? And my family probably wondering why I ain't done already. So look. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Sorry about the issue with the background music, Spotify tripping. I had the playlist already. But look, even though the playlist wasn't playing properly and stuff like that, the playlist I was intending to play is actually in the description. It's a playlist called Instrumentals That Speak Louder Than Words. It has the intro and outro music, the Substantial Sundays in there, and a whole lot of other dope stuff. So check that stuff out. And yeah. Word. Hey, JR, I'm definitely gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out. Real quick, sub. What about that teacher on Twitter? He was speaking on. Oh yeah. So Pete. So I'll comment on that, and then we definitely got to go. So look, I think someone had asked me they wanted to hear my thoughts on the teacher putting hands on the young man. So look, I feel as though. I know a lot of people are going to say like how disrespectful the young man was, this, that, and the third. But one of the things that I've learned, I've been doing youth work now 20 years, right? I've had moments where like sometimes I've had to physically restrain students. I've had moments where a young man pulled scissors, like a sharp object and stuff, and was threatening folks in the room. Like I've had some intense situations, certain situations where I've been physically threatened. I'm a person who's quite capable of handling myself, but at the same time, I also people can talk they can talk all they want. As long as I'm not physically being attacked, I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to physically do anything to them just because they're saying things, no matter how hurtful it is. In my profession, what we typically do in those situations is when things are getting tense, and especially when I find myself getting angry, that is key. Right. So when I find myself in a situation where I'm starting to get angry and I know I'm not going to be able to handle handle this situation with this student in a professional manner, or I'm going to jump out of character immediately, which what we encourage each other to do is to find another staff person who their temper hasn't been elevated. Right. You tap them for them to step in. Right. Like you call for help immediately and let this other person step in. Somebody who's not already at 100, someone who's a lot cooler than you are, calmer than you are, and that way they can diffuse the situation. And that student is super out of line, you let security handle it. Trust me, I deal with students as ridiculous as the young man was, if not 20 times worse. You know what I mean? Like in certain situations, I've had kids, where I'm sitting in the office with them or whatever while we're putting guns out their bag. So like, ain't much I haven't seen. You know what I mean? Dealing with young people. But I definitely don't have any documented things where it's showing that like, I'm punching kids out because of some stuff that they said that was out of pocket, or something that they tried to do to me. But it's also about building relationships too. A lot of educators, unfortunately, aren't very good at building relationships with young people because a lot of educators suffer from something called adultism, which is a real thing. Adultism is the idea that because you're an adult, you're somehow better than a child, which means that when a child speaks to you in a certain way, or whatever, you don't do well with it because you're like looking at them like, who the hell are you to think you could talk to me about anything dealing with that? Or I'm not going to sit here and try to reason with you because you're a child. Stay in your place. You do what I tell you to do, blah, blah, blah. And so those are very dangerous things or whatever in terms of like, fuck it, I'll go with dangerous. Those are very dangerous things that we deal with when we deal with young people. Like, you know, it's like you are fueling resentment when you are a person who treats young people like that. And so I don't know much about the backgrounds of either one of those individuals. All I know is that I did remember them saying that the teacher, the educator, had a history, and also had another situation where he put hands on somebody, which to me means he shouldn't have been working in education anymore. You know, and then people argue about whether the young man deserved it or not. The fact of the matter is, it's one of those things like we're not security guards, we're not police officers. That's not who we are. So if you're in a situation and you can't resolve it without talking a young person down, then you probably don't need to be a teacher. You see what I'm saying? So, or don't need to be working in the service of young people. If there's anything that a young person can say that's going to lead you to physically beating them like that. You know what I mean? And don't get it twisted. They say ridiculous stuff. Ridiculous stuff. I'm 6 feet, 217 pounds. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got no problem. You know, we all could be moving some furniture in this moment, right? But I ain't gonna let certain people get me in that situation. You know what I mean? Because I'm too good at what I do, and I care too much about the work that I do, that I'm gonna let my temper in a particular situation make it so I can't do this work ever again. There's too many people that benefit from me doing the work that I do. You see what I'm saying? For me to let one person let me lose my cool. You understand? So again, it's just like with police officers. I feel as though you have to, like, yo, if in certain situations, or a lot of your situations, when you see certain people, if your initial response is just to go for a weapon before you even know what the situation is, because of certain fear or certain anxiety that you have, or how you feel about certain group of people, you're a person who doesn't need to be doing that type of work. You see what I'm saying? I know officers or whatever who work in far more violent communities than some of these officers who have shot several people, and they talk about how, like, yo, they almost never draw their gun. They almost never draw their gun because, like, yo, they've been in situations so much. They see how they've been able to talk down a ridiculous amount of people. Think about how many of these mass shootings or whatever where these white officers have talked to the victims in a calm manner, and they just gave themselves up in this, and they're able to do it in certain settings, but can't do it in other settings. Well, and that's partly because of certain issues that they haven't dealt with, and a bit of racism, a bit of prejudice, and a long list of other things that they have between for one group of people, and don't necessarily have for people who look like them. And so, like, you don't have that luxury in education, yo. Like, you don't. But they deal with it kind of the same way they deal with officers. When you deal with people who are inappropriate and do ridiculous things or whatever in the classroom, they move them around. It's almost like Catholic priests. Like, you get put in a little teacher jail situation where you got to go take this little mandatory training for a certain period of time, and then they put you in another school if it's that ridiculous. That's crazy to me. I'm like, yo, you lose your job. You lose your job. You shouldn't be doing this. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing for officers. It's like, it's not even a question of whether or not they should keep their job. They shouldn't keep their job. They can't handle it. Everything is showing you that they can't handle it. Just get them out of there, because there's too many other people out here who can do a better job, who are far more educated in certain instances, or far more qualified and can do a better job. So get them the hell out the way so we can get somebody better in. Just like with politics. You know what I mean? And that is all for today. This is where I hit the theme music and we ride out. You know what I mean? Hey, man, I appreciate all the questions. Oh, we got to turn down something. Shout out to Malcolm Jackson. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. By the way, here's a link to the song I mentioned. JR, thank you for that. True shit. It takes one madness moment to mess up everything you built. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Feel like there should be some type of class teachers should take the view situation. They do, just like police officers. Like, we all get the training. It's just certain people are Your educators, these people who work in schools, literally, when they are in trainings, when they are in meetings, they behave the same damn way the children behave in their classroom. They're talking through certain things. They're showing up late. They try to dip out early and skip it all together. They're rude or whatever when the trainer's speaking. Like the same people they claim to be better than, which are the children, they are no better than they exhibit the same behaviors, but they're adults, so that means they're actually worse than, right? Because they like this one. And so, but it is what it is. We're gonna end with the feel-good music. Steph, I'm with it. Hey, so real quick, you can say it in the comments after the video, or you can say it right now in the chat. Either my favorite things next week or heart. Just let me know in the comment section. Peace to y'all, man. Thank y'all for a great show. Shout out to the homie Sherm. Definitely miss you. We ran hella long today. All right. Record stream, 1 hour, 30 minutes. Yeah, man. Yeah, we talked about a lot of heavy stuff, and I didn't even cover everything in my agenda, Peace, y'all. Have a great one. Peace.